It's the changes. You can't just do it like you want to do it. You're going to have to throw away a bunch of that junk you were taught. And you don't want to throw it away. You don't want to get rid of it. You want to keep it. So you got to throw it away and get the real truth of God and the real knowledge of who God is. Being convinced and being persuaded that God is love, and He is. But what about when He get angry? You love too, but what about when you get angry? You ain't in love all the time. None of us are. Another emotion hits sometime when love is gone. But being taught that God can't change. See, we won't give God a chance to change. We won't give Him a chance. God can't change. Oh no, God, you got to be who you are. You just can't change. Why I don't want God to change? Because if God changed, then that means that I can't do what I want to do. And I need Him to stay who He is so I can live any kind of way. And just run to His mercy. Run to His throne. So I don't need Him to change. Please don't you change, God. You know, don't you change. You just stay right there. I'll be back in just a little bit. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go over here and shuck and jive. You know, I'm going to go over here and do some stuff I ain't got no business doing, and I'm going to come right back. Don't you change now. Don't you change. You let me do all the changing. You stay God. Don't want to give God an opportunity to make no changes. Because if you change, then I'm going to take your ranking from being God. You can't take His ranking from being God because He's God. Period. He's God. You can't take His ranking from being God. Whether He change or not. If He does change, it's been because He done been provoked to change. Because He wants to be stable. But we can provoke God to change. Everybody that is created under this earth, God created with a purpose and a plan to live, to defy all odds and go to heaven. He came up with a plan for every one of us to get to heaven. Say it. How you know? Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you. They are thoughts of good and not evil. Thoughts of peace. He says to bring you to an expected end. So every one of us, God has a plan to get us to heaven. Every one of us. But if we don't go to heaven, is that God's problem? Is that God's fault? No. But we'll think that God ain't supposed to change. And then I've literally heard folk accuse God of stuff. You know, I don't know why God would even do something like that. If God is supposed to be so good, then why would He let some stuff like that happen like that? Because, see, you don't understand. You don't have a full knowledge of who God is. You just been convinced of one side of God. See, you ain't got the whole scope of who He is. You don't know the full concept of who He is. And one of the reasons you don't know the full concept of who He is, I'm going to give y'all two reasons why you don't know Him in the right capacity. One reason you don't know Him is because all you listen to is what somebody else had to say to you. You ain't trying to dig into who He is yourself. Another reason you don't know Him in the full scope of who He is and what it is that He can do is because you refuse to change to know Him. Because you got to make some changes to get to know Him like that. You got to make some changes to know God in the real truth of who He is. You cannot stand before God any kind of way. You just can't do it. It ain't possible. You can't do it. He's a holy God. And we can't stand before God unholy. So therefore, there is some changes that needs to be made, and there is a resist in making the changes. And so it is just much easier for me to take what is being said to me about God being this type of God. So then that means I don't have to know this side right here, because this side is going to require that I make some shifts. And I don't want to make no shifts. I want to be nasty. I want to keep being who I am. Why? Because this is how I ain't was. This is who I am. I've been this way right here for all these years, and I'm going to be this way. Yeah, okay, the art door will be closing in a little bit. Be that way. Be that way. The ark door will be closing. Be that way. You have to get to know the full scope of who God is. You cannot just know him as a God that never leaves nor forsakes you. You better know him as the one that will leave. Don't want him there and see you. If you don't invite him in your house right now, he ain't enough. He ain't enough. You haven't invited him in your heart, he ain't enough. Argue the point with me. He ain't enough. Every one of us had to accept him and invite him in. He don't go nowhere uninvited. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't doing that. If you not going, you look. I'm telling y'all, I got people right now that my heart groans for. But I don't fool with them, because if you don't make me feel received, I ain't coming. I just pray from a distance. Go on about my business. Not going to do it. You don't have to go in a door that's not open. Prove it. Pastor Lee says, if any man come in any other way, he's a thief and a robber. That's what the scripture says. If he come in any other way other than the door, it's in the New Testament. You can look it up. Jesus said he's a thief and a robber. I ain't fixing to be ducking around no corners. I ain't finna be calling nobody trying to find out what you got going on. I don't do none of that. You want me to know? You'll let me know. Because I got enough of my business to take care of than to have to be running around trying to find somebody else's. You can bet that. I got a stack of stuff I still need to do right now before I have surgery. Of my business. I got stuff I'm trying to hear God for now. That's my business. Versus trying to be off into somebody else's. So you ain't got to worry about keeping no business for me. I ain't trying to find it, to tell you the truth. It's just the truth. I don't pride myself on getting in folks' stuff. That ain't me. I ain't going nowhere when I'm rejected. Scripture says he ain't doing it either. So I think I'm fine. You should be the same way. And it's fine. If I ever make any of you feel like I don't want you around, don't come. Because you ain't got to take that from me. You don't have to take that. Not at all. Get to know God on a level of who he really is and how he functions. Because he is Son of God and the Son of Man. That's why Jesus wept. That was the Son of Man crying. It said when he came to Lazarus' tomb and he saw that Lazarus was dead before he became into the power of doing what the Father had set for him to do, he said he cried. Because that was his natural side. He cried. Then his spiritual side kicked in, and he began to move in the Spirit of God, in the might of God, and called that boy from that grave. So you got to get to know God in the full facet of who he is, and not just for the portion that you want him to be. Because not only is he the God that loves Delphine, but he's the God that'll chin check her too. He's not only the God that will lift her butt up, but he'll take her down too. He's not only the God that'll bless her, but he'll curse her too. He's not only the God that'll give to her, but he'll take from her too. Ask Job what he says. What did he tell Job? For the Lord give it, and the Lord... Oh, we holler all of that, but do we believe that, y'all? We holler all of that. I done told you better get to know God for real and get to know the fact God is multifaceted. He's multifaceted. It will do you good just to sit down and study the names of God. Just lock yourself in to getting to know the names of God. And when you get through with them, go to the names of Jesus. It will do you good just to get to know him in that, because in that you will see all his personalities of how he does things. He was Jehovah Jireh, which was the God that provided. He is Jehovah Rapha. He's Jehovah Tiskanu. He's Jehovah Mikadesh. He's Jehovah Shalom. He's Elyon. He's Yahweh. He's Jehovah. He's I am. But you're still talking about the same God. So if you only get to know him for the benefits of you, then when you kick in, the parts of you that ain't pure, and all us got them, the parts of you that ain't right, when you kick in, that what's going to take you to hell. That what's going to make that heart door close. That part right there. That's going to be the part right there that the door going to try to catch open. It's going to try to catch me right there in that moment right there, Jimmy, so that door can close. And then I'm caught outside the ark because I done dishonored. I done dishonored. Study the names of God. You can Google them. You can Google them. Study the names of God. You finish with that? Go to the names of Jesus. Stop worrying about trying to read through the Bible in a year. Get them names. There's a lot in them names. Them names will tell you exactly who he is and what he stands for and how he functions. Them names will rescue you in some times of trouble. Because whenever you get in a position and you need something, Jehovah Jireh, can I get you to please show up for me? Can I get you to please come? Jehovah Rapha, the Lord that heals, can I get you to please come? I need you to touch me within my body. There's so much confusion going on around me. Jehovah Shalom, can you come in with peace, please? Jehovah Nissi, can I get you to come be my banner? Jehovah Mikadesh, Tiskanu, my righteousness, can I get you to please come? Can I get you to please show up? See, you know him in the capacity. You know him as the God of judgment. And not only the God of judgment, but the God of righteousness. But you don't know him just as the God of righteousness. You know him as the God of judgment too. So you've got to know him in all capacity. And when you know him in all capacities, you honor him right. You honor him correctly when you know him in all capacities. What you do not know in fullness of truth, you are going to dishonor. If all you know about me is what you heard, and you don't get to know their thing for real, chances are you are going to dishonor. If what you have allowed them to pour inside of you was negative, well, you know, if all that was poured in you was the negative, show me where you're going to honor in that. Where you going to honor in that? But if what was being poured into you was of righteous context, it will help you to honor. That's the reason why, if I ever run across somebody, and this has happened, I got somebody, I got nothing against them, but our relationship ain't what it was no more. She was dishonoring an apostle and tried to get me to dishonor her. And I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. Light and darkness don't have fellowship. You better watch that, y'all. Watch that spirit of dishonor. God don't have me on honor in this house for nothing. Watch that spirit of dishonor.